Welcome to the final of 2013 National Competition of Momentum. Here comes our two contestants. They are Mr. Physics and Miss Chemistry. Good luck. The momentum of an object is the product of its velocity and mass and can be expressed as P equals mv. Mr. Physics has a mass of 0.5 kilograms and a velocity of -4 meter per second. He has a momentum of -2 kilogram meter per second. Miss Chemistry has a mass of 0.2 kilograms and a velocity of -4 meter per second as well. She has a momentum of -0.8 kilogram meter per second. Even though they had the same velocity, Mr. Physics has a greater momentum because he has a greater mass, since mass is directly proportional to the magnitude of momentum. This is why he won the competition. One day, Miss Chemistry and Mr. Physics decide to do a car race. At the very start, Miss Chemistry went at full speed, far exceeding Mr. Physics. Mr. Physics stepped hard on the gas, but the gap is larger and larger. Oh, Miss Chemistry is going to win. 10, 9, 8. Suddenly Miss Biology rushed onto the racetrack and knocked into Mr. Physics, giving him an impulse of 3 Newton seconds. With this impulse, Mr. Physics succeeded at the last moment, and there he wins. Impulse is the change in momentum and is the force applied over a period of time. Impulse is calculated by the formula. Impulse is equal to force times delta T. As Miss Biology knocked into Mr. Physics, boom, she applied on him a force of 0.5 newtons for 2 seconds, giving him an impulse of 1 Newton seconds. Since impulse is the change in momentum, and delta T is equal to the change in mass and in velocity, we can rearrange the equation to get F delta T equals delta mv, or F delta T equals m delta v, since the mass of Mr. Physics remains the same. Mr. Physics has a mass of 0.5 kilograms, with an impulse of 1 Newton second. His change in velocity is 2 meter per second. Miss Biology's impulse therefore increased Mr. Physics' velocity and helped him winning the car race.
It's Friday, gotta get down on Friday.
Mr. Met sees that the sciences don't want to play with him, so he gets very upset. He decides to play with himself. Mr. Met bounces against a rubber band and bounces back with the same velocity. Again, and again. Momentum is conserved. The law of conservation of momentum states that the total momentum at the beginning is equal to the total momentum at the end. The conservation of momentum can be illustrated by the formula: mass and velocity of object v at the start plus mass and velocity of object v at the start is equal to mass and velocity of object v at the end plus mass and velocity of object v at the end. Or more simply, total P1 is equal to total P2. After winning the momentum competition, Mr. Physics is very excited. He is very excited. He is very excited. He drove into his garage and drove on with his garage.
It's Friday, gotta get down on Friday.
Mr. Physics is driving at 1 meter per second and has a mass of 0.5 kilograms. Since the garage is not moving, the total initial momentum P is 0.5 kilogram meter per second. After the collision, Mr. Physics and the garage stick together and went on at a velocity of 0.5 meter per second. The garage weighs 0.5 kilogram, so the total final momentum is 0.5 kilograms meter per second. Momentum is conserved.
3.1459653
After winning the car race, Mr. Physics gets very excited. He is very excited. He is very excited. He meets a red light and crush into Miss Chemistry. Again, Mr. Physics is driving at 1 meter per second and has a mass of 0.5 kilograms. Miss Chemistry is not moving and has a mass of 1 kilogram. So the total initial momentum P is 0.5 kilogram meter per second. After the collision, Mr. Physics went on at 0.1 meter per second, while Miss Chemistry went on at 0.45 meter per second. Therefore the total final momentum is still 0.5 kilogram meter per second. Momentum is conserved, but Miss Chemistry is enraged.